Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, we're here for the live stream for the newest expansion pack for The Sims 4. It is The Sims 4 Snowy Escape. Now, I'm Graham Nardone. I'm going to be your host today. I'm also the lead producer on Snowy Escape. And I'm actually joined by today with some interesting stories or questions, or to help answer your questions later on. So give a hello in chat to some of our producers who are here today. We have Azure, Morgan, PJ, and Sarah. Then from our design team, we have Jessica, Nick, and Thomas. And last but not least, we have our art director. Hello to all of them, and we can't wait to show you the pack. So we're not going to waste too much time here. I think we'll just go ahead and jump right into the game. Now, something I do want to mention quickly up front before we get going is that we are running not final software today. So still putting a few little finishing touches just in case we happen to run into issues today. But that said, we have a beautiful scenic shot here. Let me introduce you to the world of Mount Komorebi. Now, all of our neighborhoods and locations within this world have a little bit of meaning behind them, and Mount Komorebi itself actually translates to the light filtering through the trees. And that's kind of a running theme throughout this world. We're right here in the Wakaba neighborhood, and Wakaba stands for young leaves. And really, what this neighborhood represents is one of the newer areas of our world. It's actually a bit of a tourist district. It's attracting some more modern locations. And as I just kind of pan and look around, something I want to highlight is that all of the lots within the world of Mount Komorebi were built by Sims players. Maybe some names you even recognize. So people like James Turner, Deligracy, Lil Simsy, Simlessy, they actually collaborated with us on the development of this pack. And maybe even checked out their YouTube channels yesterday and saw some of their videos about what that experience was like. I'm going to pan across some of the beautiful homes that they did. But while I do that, Cheyenne, I'm just really curious. We were working with them and we were giving them some specific direction for what we wanted the buildings in this world to be like. How did you kind of help them through the process of blending, Japanese themes with more contemporary modern architecture?
This pack was really fun. We have more contemporary buildings in this area, and then in another town, they're a little bit older, so it's great to have contrast. We had lots of reference pictures. We looked at layouts in existing homes, and we went with more modern builds, but we also have elements that reinforce the Japanese inspired location, like the trees and the step downs when you get in the front door.
Yeah, and we'll show that in just a second because I know people will be super excited to see those. Honestly, I think this mansion by Lil Simsy is a really standout example. It used to be kind of beige and lighter colored, but I think that bold, kind of darker contrast against the white walls helps it pop in that contemporary way. Um, that said, why don't we introduce some of our Sims? I've got Kiyoshi here. He's the teenager in the family, and he's here swimming in Wakaba's river. And you can see that's actually helping with his new Mount Komorebi sightseer aspiration. Gave him one of his goals to complete. And, as a teen growing up in the world of Mount Komorebi, it's giving him an opportunity to learn a little bit more about this land and explore it. And as we go along here, we have these really scenic, tranquil Japanese gardens. And if I zoom way in, we've got some koi fish swimming under the bridge. And what I love about these is you can actually have koi fish in your fountains back at home now. Now, if we go over to our main plaza here, it is early in the morning on a Friday, so it's a little sleepy at the moment. But it looks like we have a special visitor, Sarah. Now, I know you've been all about Yamachan on Twitter. Can you tell us a little bit about Yamachan? What's his backstory?
Yeah, so hello. I am the founder of the fan club and BFF of Yamachan. Nice to meet you all. Yamachan was an explorer, and he was looking to find a place to settle, and he came across Mount Komorebi and said, this is beautiful. I love it. I love the people. I love the activities. And the people loved him just as much. So he became a household name and became the representative. He is a very good dancer. He runs the Void Critter Hunt for the Festival of Youth, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. And also, he loves ramen. There is a food stall named after him
Very
near the.
good. This is right where the Festival of Youth takes place, and it kind of explodes with people at that point. And there's things like unique food stalls with these character crepe ice creams, which are really cute. There's activities for kids to do. They can even purchase and take home these paper Kabuto helmets. But honestly, my favorite part of it is hosted by Yamachan himself, which is the Void Critter Hunt. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about that event, Sarah.
Yeah, so Yamachan hosts an event for kids where you can get a super fancy capsule from it, and basically kids go around on their phone and try to catch the little void critters across the Festival of Youth. They will get a little VFX on it too, so it's super cool. So keep an eye out for that when you play it. But
Very
it's
cute.
definitely very fun.
So let's go meet the next member of my household. This is a little Nanami. And you can see she is wearing a school uniform. She was ready to head off to school this morning. And that's actually something new and unique to the world of Mount Komorebi, where children here will wear school uniforms. But you know what? I don't think we're going to go to school today. We're going to do something a little more fun than that. So we'll swap her back to that. And normally I'd send her inside right here, but I do want to pause and just show something to the stream. Let's see. This one goes out to the community on Reddit. Don't think I don't see you chatting out there. We do have a new science table in the pack. It looks awesome. You're going to like it. That said, we'll get back to the family. Now, I'm going to bring little Nanami back inside to hang out with her parents. And I was hoping that she was going to show us the new rules of taking shoes off, but it looks like she's decided to be a little mischievous and leave her shoes on today. Mom and Dad are probably going to catch her in a second here, and she'll get a little embarrassed about that. Yep, just as predicted. But that's okay. Mom and Dad have taken their shoes off, and this is one of those new cultural things that's coming in the pack. Now, on any lot, you can set the ability for Sims to take their shoes off upon entering, or there's another rule where you can have Sims put indoor slippers on when they come inside. You've noticed a little bit of what's going on here. This is something you haven't been able to do in build mode before, and of course, that is platforms. Platforms are coming free to all players in the base game update, and they are just unlimited customization. And I think we'll dive into that a little bit later. But I do want to point out we've got these locations here, like a sunken Genkin entryway, and that's a traditional location where you take off your shoes. Or we have some of these raised platforms that can be used to decorate with. In Azure, we have these different heights of platforms. We have Sims who are different heights, whether they're a kid or an adult. How do those two things kind of work together? What are some of the cool things we can do with that?
One of the things we added with platforms that I'm super excited about is head clearance. So we have a new route fail icon where if you've built a platform and your sim can't actually get to that platform because their head would run in with the ceiling or with lights above them, your sim is going to let you know that before they try routing there. Yeah, platforms are really amazing. I can't wait for players to get their hands on them.
And it's really cool that because of that, you could have a kid go into a space that an adult isn't allowed into.
Absolutely.
So I will say all of the platforms that I just showed, because I kind of panned around the house, are on the ground floor. And I know people have had questions about this. Can you build platforms on other levels as well?
Yes, you can build platforms on any level. And actually, if you look at some of the homes that our game changers built in Mount Komorebi, you'll see some really interesting use of platforms. I believe James, on his starter home, he used platforms to create this really awesome looking roof.
Very cool. Yeah, so why don't I introduce to two more members of the family? Here we have mom and dad, Naoki and Megumi. And they are both in the new salary person career, new rabbit hole style career that's coming with this pack. It's kind of exemplified by long commute times, long work hours, late nights. Um, but there's some really fun, interesting twists on that. And Nick, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what sets it apart from a standard rabbit hole career.
Thanks, Graham. So yeah, with all of the extra working time, it does put extra stresses and strains on our Sims. So we've added some new fitness activities like exercise to decompress, which can remove some of the negative buffs that they'd pick up in the office. We've got two new branches, supervisor and expert. So supervisor Sims, they can bring their work home and host a phone conference. And expert Sims can sit at their computer and they could do something like optimize their spreadsheet formulas. And my personal favorite, they can show their commitment to the corporation by dancing to the company anthem, which
Oh,
does have an excellent tune.
for
In
sure.
terms of rewards for the career, there are some sharp new business outfits, as well as a couple of new traits, including legendary stamina, which will slow down energy depletion, which means our Sims will, of course, be able to work even longer hours.
Yeah, very cool. Now, as members of the salary person career, our Sims are earning some new lifestyles. And one of them is workaholic. Now, lifestyles are a brand new system that are coming exclusively to Snowy Escape. There's 16 of them total. So if I pop in here, you'll get a look at some of what we have, as well as some hidden ones. But think of lifestyles where if traits are kind of the intrinsic personalities of your Sims that you define early on and create a Sim, lifestyles are the lived experiences of your Sims. And as you play that Sim, depending on how they interact with the world or how they interact with others around them, they'll start to form habits, and those habits become these lifestyles. So, as a salary person, it makes sense that mom and dad here become workaholics. Now, Dad's actually quite fortunate. He has his lovely wife, Megumi, and he's also developed the hungry for love lifestyle. And you can see as I hover over it here, it actually benefits his career in some ways as well. And Dad likes to work hard, but he also likes to play hard. And he has the frequent traveler lifestyle. Now, we're going to go on a vacation a little bit later, and I'll chat about that when we get to it. But I will just point out, because we're vacationing within the same world that we live in, that's not going to affect this particular lifestyle. But he loves taking vacations just about anywhere. Um, all that said, Morgan, maybe from this list, is there one favorite lifestyle of yours that our Sims don't have today?
Well, of the ones the Sims don't have, my favorite one is single and loving it, which is actually one of the opposing traits to hungry for love right there. I really like sort of the stories you can tell with that one, where you're like just a Sim who's loving the single life and they're doing their thing. And because of that, they're like getting benefits to being single. And I like the stories you can tell where if you go into a relationship, maybe your Sim's gonna like have a hard time like giving up some of their selfish free time that they had for a little while until they kind of like stop living that lifestyle versus like really living it. And so that's my favorite.
Very cool. And just quickly, as we look at some of these lifestyles here, there's some that are kind of opposing each other and some that are individual and standalone. What's just the quick difference between those?
Standalone ones, they're standalone, so they'll acquire it, and there isn't really anything that's opposite of it. You acquire it by doing that behavior or by not doing that behavior. There are opposite ones, like for example, hungry for love and single and loving it, or indoorsy and outdoorsy there, where the behavior is very opposite of each other. You're actively pursuing it, so doing the opposite will also drain it. You can't have both at the same time. It's one or the other.
Very cool. Now, the last thing I want to mention before we move on to our next location is sentiments. And this is another one that's generated a lot of buzz online already. And sentiments can be thought of as shared moments between Sims and how Sims feel about those experiences coming out of them. And we're telling you a lot of this up front because lifestyles and sentiments are both core gameplay systems. They add depth to the entire experience, whether you're in Mount Komorebi or not. But they are a bit difficult to show in a trailer or on a live stream because they are these extended long-term experiences that impact gameplay over the course of time. So we'll see a few examples of it occur throughout the stream today, and I'm going to ask Morgan to keep an eye out and let me know when they pop up because they can be a bit random. You're not guaranteed to get them, so we'll see. But I will point out we do have one sentiment with one of our neighbors already. So Shigeru here, if I open our new sim profile, I can go in here and I can take a look and see that I have a festering grudge with one of my neighbors. So as you play some of the pre-made households living in Mount Komorebi, some of them have actually already formed sentiments with each other. Now, you're probably wondering what this window I popped up is. This is our new sim profile. It contains a lot of information about Sims, about your pets, about kids, whoever. And this is a new update that is also coming free to all players in the base game update. So watch out for that. All that said, why don't we get out of Wakaba? Let's actually begin our adventure because we haven't even left home yet. And I'm going to go ahead and travel with the family. So let's head over to the district of Senbamachi. And while I load in there, I will quickly mention, I don't think I said it a moment ago, sentiments are actually coming to base game as part of the free update as well. Many of the sentiments are just natural moments throughout life, so all players are going to get a chance to experience those. And then on top of that, we'll have some additional exclusive sentiments to Snowy Escape, which, again, they're kind of these shared moments between Sims. So with a lot of the new experiences in Snowy Escape, you can only get those sentiments through doing things potentially in Mount Komorebi or things that you bring back to your home. Okay, so here we are in the absolutely gorgeous neighborhood of Senbamachi. This one might be my personal favorite. But Senbamachi translates to Thousand Leaf Town. And I think if you just take a look around as I pan the camera, you'll see where it draws its inspiration from. And really, this town is a little bit unlike anything that we've done in Sims 4 previously. You can see it's kind of this old Japanese mountain town. So we have these narrow alleyways that we can explore. We've got just beautiful features around the world, like this hot spring spillway where you can listen to the water flow and maybe read a book and relax nearby. Now, if I'm looking to be a little more productive, I like going over to the river in the middle of the town, and we could do a little fishing here and maybe be inspired by the carp streamers flowing nearby. But if I go back to the center of it all, we have our park and we have our bar, and then right in the middle is our plaza. And this is where the Festival of Light takes place. And now we're not going to see this festival during the demo today. I've got a different festival in mind. But when this one does come to town, there's these gorgeous paper lanterns that float on the river. There's fireworks, there's a bonfire, there's, again, unique food stalls with new recipes that can only be found there. Even unique vending machines, and we'll see a bit more of those in just a moment, with some new clothes and things that can only be purchased here. But let's get back to my family. I'm going to have Megumi here come over and check out the info board. So speaking of festivals, let's see what is the next festival that's coming. Now, Megumi is an extreme sports enthusiast, and this is yet another new aspiration in Snowy Escape. And one of her goals is to check this board because she wants to find out a little bit more of the things happening around town before she goes and starts accomplishing them. Now, it looks like the Festival of Snow is actually arriving tomorrow, so we're definitely going to want to check that out. And I'm going to look forward to eating some of that ikeyaki. Little grilled squid, delicious. But while we're here, let's go ahead and check the daily wildlife report as well. If we're going to go exploring the neighborhood of Senbamachi, I want to make sure that we know what's out there waiting for us. Okay, and it looks like giant hornets have been spotted, as well as denkimushi. And if you are not familiar with denkimushi, they are these dangerous little critters that love to shock you. So you definitely want to watch out for that. But We do have a solution for that, of course. We have these new vending machines, and I'm going to use the Bits and Bobbles one here right outside this little corner bodega. And I'm going to go ahead and purchase some solvent bomb. Now, we do have things to ward off some of these critters as well, but that's no fun. I know everybody tuning in today wants to see us get attacked by giant hornets. Uh, so I'll just get a little something to help my sim out afterwards in case we run into them. So that worked pretty well, but I'm going to bring Kiyoshi over because we have this Gachapon inspired vending machine here as well. And let's go ahead and get a Simi capsule. Now, Simmies are a new household collection coming with Snowy Escape, and they're these adorable little characters. And let's see what we get. Now, Morgan, as I purchase some capsules here, I haven't had any bad luck so far, but I have heard vending machines can get a little bit dangerous, even potentially deadly. What do players need to watch out for to avoid harm for their sims?
So vending machine, they are very dangerous if not used properly. So when things get stuck in them from time to time, you can shake them. And most of the time, it'll probably just like wobble back and forth, but on occasion it might fall on you, which obviously is not good. But we have these really cool buffs that will tell you if you're getting injured. Oh, Yama-chan. But if you get injured from the vending machines, there's like stacking injuries over time. And the more injured you get, you could eventually die. I think it's 3 times getting injured as it gets worse and worse. So you better stop once you start to get injured a little bit. And that also stacks with other injuries you can get in the pack. So you can get injured multiple ways. But the vending machine could just be the final one that does you in.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things. Like all the kind of features within the world work together in that way. So whether you get injured from rock climbing or from skiing or from a vending machine falling on you, it all kind of builds upon the danger a little bit. So I've opened my household collections here, and again, I have 2 out of 12 semis. And yes, I will point out we do know how to count. This is more than 12 in this UI, but that is because we actually have rare gold versions of all of our Simi characters as well. And so I could sit here and I could purchase Simi capsules from the vending machine all day, and I would not collect the entire collection. There are other ways to find other Simi capsules out there. I won't spoil all of them, but one thing I will point you to is you'll certainly want to visit each of the different festivals and look for some. So one other cool thing, just as we head over to our hike, Morgan, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how vending machines also help our sims regulate their temperatures.
Yeah, so we have 2 specific vending machines that are hot and cold food vending machines. And there are certain items, if you hover over, it'll say that they actually heat or cool a sim. So if your sim's feeling cold up on the mountaintop after a day of skiing and they want to go to the hot vending machine and purchase some hot soup or a can of hot tea, they can do that. And whenever they drink it, it'll warm them up just a little bit. They work a little bit different than other hot and cold, so that they're like is a cap, and they'll never like be the thing that pushes you over and kills you. They're safe like that, but they are there to keep you a little bit warmer or cooler depending on how your sim's feeling.
Yeah, very nice. Now, I do want to point out we're about to go on a hike, and a hike is a very distinct activity and something a little new for our Sims. And I think it's interesting. I've told my Sims to go here together, but you can see they're not really socializing with each other as they go. And poor little Nanami, she's fallen behind. She has her short little child legs, so she can't quite keep up. So just routing around the world like this, it's not a social experience. But that's definitely what we wanted hiking to be. So if I go over to my hiking map here, I can select a variety of destinations. I think I'm going to go to the mountain temple today. So I'll have my Sims start a hike. And let me just click on this again so you see a few of the interesting options we have. We could have our Sims just kind of randomly hike around the world and take in the scenery, or we could go to specific locations like the bamboo forest. We could even do an exercise trail jog to get our athletic skill up a bit. And finally, there's a meditative walk, which is a very kind of relaxing Zen solo thing that our Sims can do. Um, and I do love that meditative walk because hiking and especially relaxing out in these beautiful areas of nature is one of my favorite ways to get a sim into an emotionally mindful state, which is, again, something a little bit new with Snowy Escape. So, PJ, maybe you could explain for players what that is and maybe some of the other ways that you can get into that state.
Yeah, totally. So when a sim is emotionally mindful, they're basically like just so at peace that they can put themselves in any emotion that they want, using surge emotions self interaction. Think of it like the Hulk in Avengers. He's just always angry, right? So he can turn himself into the Hulk anytime he wants. Um, kind of in the same way, your sim is so at peace that they can become like angry at will, or like happy at will, or flirty at will, or inspired. Yeah, using that surge emotions interaction. It's just really powerful tool for storytelling, just to be able to enter any emotion you want. But like you're asking, other ways you can enter the state is by just using the hot springs in this pack, or painting, or getting massage from spa day, or wellness skill from that pack. But we just thought of all the ways that we can. It made sense where your sim can become at peace.
Yeah, very cool. Now, as my Sims go on a hike here, again, I do want to point out the differences in what you're seeing while PJ was talking. This is very much a group experience. It's a social thing for our Sims where they're chatting, they're building relationship as they go on their hike, and they're very much interacting with the world around them. We stop and saw them take selfies on top of the beautiful bridge that we crossed. Dad pulled out his map and checked the trail just to make sure that they were going to the right destination. And look at that, a gorgeous sunset next to the temple. As they're going to go leave a wish on the Emma board here, uh, it looks like our wish didn't come true, unfortunately. But I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope the next stage of our presentation here goes well, even if it's not for poor Dad. So we've enjoyed a lovely hike here in Senbamachi, but I do think it's time for our Sims to relax even further. Let's go on a vacation. So I'm going to use the phone and take a vacation. Now, there's been vacations in The Sims 4 previously, as I'm sure you know, if you buy some of the game packs, such as Outdoor Retreat or Jungle Adventure or Journey to Batu. You could go on a vacation to some of those specific destinations. But now, in the game update coming alongside Snow Escape, all players are going to be able to go on vacations to any world in The Sims 4. Um, Now, the interesting thing about Mount Komorebi that makes it a little bit different is that we have rental lots already built in this world, so you can immediately go on vacation here. So as we go up to the map, I can select some of those rental lots. We have this lovely one up here on the left by James Turner. Sorry, James, we're not picking that one today. We're going to go to the rental lot that Simlicy built for us, another beautiful one. So, for those of you who do want a vacation to other worlds, whether it's maybe Willow Creek from Base Game or Sulani from Island Living, what you'll want to do when the game update comes out is we have the new rental lot type, and you can go into Manage Worlds and build one of those rental lots within any world that you like, and then you'll be able to vacation there. Very simple. So, here we are. Let me get my Sims inside because it is quite chilly here. We're going to escape from the snow. um, and let's do a quick check to make sure that this rental home is right for us. If I go upstairs, we've got a bed for mom and dad, one for Kiyoshi, our teen, and two beds for Nanami, whichever one she wants, but I don't see a toddler bed for us. But there's a solution for that, of course. So if we go out to our mailbox here, we can order some supplies. So if you ever find yourself on a vacation and don't have everything your household needs, you will be able to go in here and find some of those essential items to keep going. So I'm going to pick up a toddler bed and a little toddler potty, and let's put those upstairs. We'll just move the new space heater out of the way. Maybe we'll be a little chilly tonight, but that's okay. There's our potty. There's our toddler bed. And let's bring little Utah up here to get some sleep. So as we rejoin the rest of the family, I do see this beautiful traditional Japanese dining room. Why don't we go and enjoy a hot pot meal together? So let's do hot pot with others. I'm feeling sukiyaki today. We're going to splurge a little. So as my Sims come in here, I want to point out that hot pot's cool because it's a little different than other meals in The Sims 4. Now, traditionally, if you're making a meal for the family, one Sim has to go to the kitchen, cook, prepare the meal. Eventually, when it's done, they can call the rest of the family to the meal and enjoy it together. But Hot Pot is, again, more of a social experience, a shared moment between Sims. And so as they gather around the hot pot and have it cooking here, they're going to socialize. They're going to chat about the hike that they just went on. They're going to enjoy themselves. And one other thing that I think is quite cool, we now have the ability to set utensil preferences on Sims. So Dad here, he's using the plain wood chopsticks, but we have some new styles of chopsticks in this pack, as well as standard cutlery, if you prefer. And for those out there who are kind of curious about how that works with the chopsticks from City Living, Sims use chopsticks with very specific recipes. Now, with the ability to set your utensil preference, you can use that with way more meals in the game. And of course, we are enjoying Hot Pot here, and we'll see a little more food later. But Snowy Escape actually has 15 new types of foods and drinks and recipes coming to the game, plus all the new types of foods in the vending machine. So lots to discover. Now that said, we're gathered around this kotatsu table as well. It's a new type of dining table. And when I've showed this to people previously, there's been a little bit of confusion. So Sarah, could you tell us, the hot pot and the kotatsu table, are they one and the same, or can we do whatever we want with those things?
Actually, they're separate, and the cool thing about Hot Pot is it's live draggable, so you can take it with you. The other cool thing is you can put the hot pot on counters and tables. It doesn't have to be on a kotatsu table.
Very cool. And the kotatsu itself is it's not just a dining table. Although one of the things I love about it is kind of the goal that we set ourselves for it was that it could replace a dining table in a home, and you wouldn't need a dining table anymore. So it's got a ton of functionality, but it also has some upgrades on it. And what do some of those do, Sarah?
Yeah, so there's basic making it unbreakable. If you don't own a kotatsu table, it has a heater underneath it, so it'll keep your Sims warm, basically. But then you can also upgrade it, so it will give you 4 different temperature controls: cold, cool, warm, and hot, so you can actually regulate it both ways.
Yeah.
You can also improve your insulation, which gives you a happy buff that is stronger and longer than the regular one, and you also get dazed less quickly.
Very cool. Now, I apologize, chat, because I am going to cheat a little bit here with my Sims. I'm going to make everybody sleepy because we do want to get a good night's sleep before we hit the mountain tomorrow. And while our Sims catch a little bit of rest, why don't I pull out and introduce you to a gorgeous nighttime tour of Yukimatsu. Now, Yukimatsu is our neighborhood, which is up on the snowy mountainside, and it is always quite chilly. There's always snow on the ground here, and our cable cars are going quite fast because I'm speeding through the night. Normally, they're a little safer. Don't worry about it. But I'm introducing you to this amazing slope here with skiing and snowboarding activities. And it's kind of wild. I love that I can't even zoom out far enough to see it. I have to go up to the top of the mountain and give you a look back down here to just kind of take it all in. So we do have our gondola. We have a little funicular train. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. It's just arriving. Bringing Sims up to the slopes to have fun. And yeah, we've got our bunny slope over here. If you're just starting out in your skiing or snowboarding skills, the bunny slope is definitely the place to be. If we come over here, we've got some rock climbing, and we haven't even started to show this off yet, but there's climbing routes spread throughout the world. There was another one in Senbamachi that we didn't quite take a look at today, but this is the beginner climbing route. It's the lowest, the safest one. This is definitely where you want to be if you're just starting to build your new rock climbing skill. And if we go further out into our neighborhood, we have a series of hiking trails out here. So we could go to a location like the Nature Cove, where you can find a lot of great collectibles. We could go to the cave with the monkey statues, check those out. There's even a frozen waterfall off in the distance over there, leading down to this icy river. So really a quite scenic location. But today's all about the slopes. Let's get our Sims out of bed and ready to go. I'm going to form a group so that we can all kind of stick together as a family today. So let's get everybody together and we'll head down out front. Get our cold winter gear on. I love little Yuta there in his parka. It's so adorable. And as the family gathers out front, I'm going to give them a series of assignments based on their skill. Let's see. Now, Dad, you can see he is a very adept skier, but he has never learned snowboarding. So let's send him snowboarding today and see how he does with that. Mom, she's just great at everything. So let's go ahead and send her skiing on the bunny slope. Little Nanami, she's an independent one. So I'm going to have her just go sledding by herself. But let's have the two brothers hang out together. Come on, Yuta. Let's get out here. Oh, poor Yuta. He's sad. He's hungry. Sorry, gonna cheat shot. I apologize. We'll make him happy so he can go sledding with his brother. Come on, little guy. There we go. So let's have the brothers go sledding together. Now, this is something that I really love about our slopes and about our activities in the pack. They are something that you can do with the entire family. And in particular, this one's nice because he'll actually pick Yuta up and carry him up the slope. Toddlers, they're a little slower to move around the world. And we didn't want every activity to just take all day to take place. So we'll give our toddlers a little help in getting up there. But again, Bunny Slope is fantastic for the whole family. And always a busy, fun place for Sims to gather.
I could be wrong, Graham, but I might be seeing the effects of some sentiments there on the family as well.
Did
kind
we?
Of sad.
Mom, let's see how Mom's doing. Mom is actually getting shared sadness because she has a close sentiment towards somebody else who is feeling bad. I have a feeling somebody might have already gotten injured going down the slope potentially. Well, let's click on her sentiments and see.
Because Dad's stressed right now, I think.
Oh, that's why. Okay. So let's actually check her sentiment with Dad here. And you can see in the rel relationship panel here, it's outlined because he has that new sentiment. So yeah, after they went hiking earlier, they got a close sentiment with the family because they all enjoyed their hike together. And because they're now feeling this close bond, because Dad is stressed out from being materialistic. Come on, Dad. Now Mom is actually feeling bad because Dad is stressed. And that just shows a little bit of the depth of that new sentiment system. Really cool. So let's have our Sims go sledding together here. We'll hit a few jumps. Woo, a little bouncy. But they had a smooth landing. Pretty good. Very cute. Let's see how Mom is doing today. We're going to have her go skiing, if I remember. We'll see if she sticks her landing. And little Nanami is going to go sledding as well. So we'll see how they... Oh, they're going to race, maybe. See who hits the bottom first. I think Nanami just edged her out, but they both stuck their landing very smooth. Nice job. And I'm going to send a few of my Sims over here because we're going to start hitting the big slopes in a moment as well. Let's see. I do want to give Dad One chance. Let's see how he does on that snowboard with no skill. Oh, he's trying some jumps. He is feeling bold today. Oh, look at him avoid the jump. Smart one, Dad. And he still can't quite land it. Okay, let's have Dad head over here so we can hit the big slopes as well. And if we go back to Big Bro and Little Bro, we definitely want to bring Kiyoshi here over to the big slopes. So I think we're actually going to take Yuta out of the group at this point. We'll send him back home. No more sledding. Come on, guys. All right, there we go. So let's have him head over. And little Yuta is going to head back home. And I promise he'll be well looked after. Oh, and some of our Sims are struggling. They are not feeling great about how they did on the bunny slope. So let's cross our fingers for the big slope. And while we were doing that, it looks like the Festival of Snow has actually come to town. We're going to visit the festival just a little bit later. I love seeing it at nighttime. So let's send our Sims up the main mountain. For little Nanami, because of course kids can participate on the main slope, let's have her go skiing, and we'll do it continuously, maybe at a nice low intensity. That'll be safe for her. And for Kiyoshi, let me just check his inventory quickly. It looks like he doesn't have any equipment of his own. Now, you can own your own skis and snowboards. PJ, what's a good way that we could solve for that?
So if you don't happen to have your own skis or snowboards, you can use rental equipment. And basically, rental equipment is given to you for free when you don't bring the stuff with you. So like when you just run the interaction from the slopes, you get basically free rental skis and snowboards. But you have to return them. They get returned eventually. And using them comes at a cost. Your Sim's feet will become sore because really they're just using janky equipment passed down from Sim to Sim. But like you said, you can bring your own skis or snowboards, but if you forget them, you can always purchase them from the Bits and Bobbles vending machine near the gondola. And you also unlock some really cool looking equipment through the skill.
Yeah, and we'll see a bit of that in just a second here. So I am selecting some different intensities. I'm going to send Dad skiing at a high intensity. And let's go ahead and send Mom. We remember she's great at everything. We'll have her go snowboarding on the ludicrous slope. And let's actually have her record a snowboarding video while she does it. Because that's actually one of the options that comes with leveling up our snowboarding skill. Thomas, maybe you could just share a little bit. What is that actually doing for our sim today?
So after the sim performs a set number of runs on a slope,
Ooh.
they'll get a snowboarding video. Nice. And the sim can take that to a computer and upload it to the internet. If you have Get Famous, it'll give them some fame, and without it, you'll still get some simoleons.
Very cool. And let's see, that's just one of the perks that comes from leveling up snowboarding. What are some other cool ones that come along with that skill, Thomas?
You can also get a new type of rail bit with other sims called the Snow Bro. And while you're in a group with them, with your Snow Bros, you'll get increased skill gains for everyone, as well as a few different perks based on some of the interactions you can run. So you can lower the fatigue of the sims that you're in the group with. You can try to make them endure the injuries that they've suffered throughout their vacation on the mountain. And you can also try to hype themselves up to get more energized, to keep them going and wanting to stay on the slopes longer.
Very cool. So I'm going to follow Nanami here. Remember, she does not have any skiing skill. But I love this view of just the precipice as we're about to go down the edge of the mountain and the snow just blowing off the side. And we're going to see how she does. Now, remember, we selected a low intensity run for her. PJ, maybe you could just tell us a little bit. What is the difference between low, medium, and high intensity for our Sims?
Yeah, So depending on your skill level, your Sims will have access to different intensities on the slopes. Lower intensity runs are generally safer options. You won't gain skill as fast, but you also won't do as many risky maneuvers and jumps. Probably pretty safe for the little one. But
She's
higher
wobbling
intensity
a
runs
little,
are,
but she's okay.
yeah, that's true. Higher intensity runs are frankly just more thrilling. You'll do more exciting jumps and turns. So going down like the ludicrous slopes on high intensity can be really cool to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, Graham, if you've ever gone snowboarding, but like my first experience was also my last. I really sucked, and I was basically chasing my snowboard around the entire time. So
I have
yeah.
not been snowboarding personally. I'm more of a skier. And speak of the devil, here's Dad with his gorgeous light up LED skis with the sunset happening in Mount Komorebi. It's all quite beautiful. All right, some good tricks for his ski run. I do want to show off Mom doing her ludicrous slope once, so let's catch up with her and see how she's doing. Oh, she just started her run. Perfect. Let's see. You're going to get some big air, front flip, maybe a spin. Oh, side flip. Okay. All right, Mom, I see you. Pretty good, pretty good. Some style points there. Let's bring all of our Sims over to the Festival of Snow. And we can see some Sims hanging out. They've made snow angels. They're having a snowball fight. Yamachan's chilling here. Let's have Dad come over and use this unique vending machine that only appears at the Festival of Snow. And each of our festivals has a unique vending machine, but I'm going to have Dad purchase a nice Festival of Snow outfit for himself. Oh, let's see. Looking good, looking good. And of course, these unique festival outfits are available for all of the Sims in the family. Mom, you got to come over and say hi to Yamachan. Let's get a little selfie with him. Something I love about Yamachan, we sent Yuta home earlier. Even toddlers can get a little selfie and picture together with Yamachan, so they love that. Let's have Nanami. She's going to enjoy the ice sculpture jungle gym here. And Kiyoshi, I did not forget about that Ikeyaki earlier. And he actually has one of his goals to eat food at the festivals as well. So let's go ahead. We'll look through some of the options here. There's the one I'm looking for. Oh, I forgot to tell him to stop snowboarding. Let's see where he is. Oh, he's way up there. There we go. Let's get some of that delicious grilled squid. Uh-oh. Looks like one day left on my vacation, and I do have one more big thing to do today. So while he grabs his squid, let me just pan out here, because with the arrival of nighttime, this is when the Festival of Snow really comes to life. I love the gorgeous light-up snow sculptures and ice carvings. There's a really good one of Yamachan. And not only that, but our slopes light up as well. We have these beautiful pink and teal lights, and even some lights embedded into the jumps on the slope. It's all quite gorgeous. But yeah, I'm going to catch up with Dad because we have one major thing we still need to do during this vacation. And I'm going to plan a new social event. Now, we have a mountain climb excursion social event in Snowy Escape, and this is unlike any social event that we've done previously, and you'll see why in just a minute here. So I'll start my excursion. I'm going to have Naoki as my leader, and we'll have Megumi and Kiyoshi join us as team members. And we're going to start off here at the Onsen Bathhouse. Now, this is a new type of venue that's coming with Snowy Escape, and it's a great place to start out this excursion because we've spent a long day on the slopes. Our Sims are a little tired, maybe a little bit sore, and the Onsen Bathhouse can be a place to just restore how our Sims are feeling. So I'm going to come in here and have my Sims change into their swimwear because, being a traditional bathhouse, there is certain etiquette that you're expected to follow. And now, of course, we could choose to not follow that etiquette, break the rules a little bit. But other Sims around you might not be thrilled about that. So that is a risk I will leave all of you to take. For today, we are going to be polite. And as my Sims get a little shower here before they enter the hot springs, we can hear some of those soothing, dulcet tones of the new Japanese folk music that's coming with Snowy Escape. This is a new radio station in the pack, and you can enjoy relaxing to those. We also have new music coming to the S-Pop station. And something a little fun for everyone, the S-Pop station is actually being added to the base game, free for all players. Now, you may remember that it originally came with City Living, and all of the music in that pack is going to remain exclusive to City Living, but we've added a lot of new music to it that everybody can enjoy now. So we're relaxing here in the hot springs, and if we take a look, poor Dad here has some simmering rage from one of his sentiments. I think his mortal enemy, Shigeru. Shigeru must have passed by. Oh, actually, Shigeru's the one in the hot tub. That's his enemy. So remember, if we go in and take a look at the sim profile, they have this festering grudge between each other. Dad is very upset that Shigeru is nearby. The hot spring is making him feel a little bit better. But wow, they're all just kind of clashing at the moment, aren't they? Our other two Sims are feeling pretty good though. So before he gets even more bitter having to stare at Shigeru across the hot springs, let's get them out of here and on with our excursion. Because we do have a number of goals to satisfy and the clock is ticking. So let's go ahead and get back into our cold weather gear if we're going to be doing a little rock climbing. Dad, stop staring at Shigeru. It's time to go. And being our excursion leader, he has some goals in particular that we need him to satisfy so that we can get going. So I'm going to check his readiness. Let's go ahead and do that. He's feeling all right. Now, one additional thing that he can do is we can put some climbing gear on, and this will help us out even further. Let's go ahead and check Mom's readiness as well. Make sure that she's doing okay. We'll have her put her gear on as well. Now, Kiyoshi, he's a little bolder, braver. He's young and brash, so no climbing equipment for him today, and we'll see how that goes for him. Now, for climbing up the mountain, we're going to want to head all the way up here to this climbing route, which will start us on our adventure. So I'll go ahead and speed up, let my Sims get up here. Here they are. Now, as they start to head off to this climbing route, we can see they're actually slowing down and starting to trudge through this pocket of mountain snow that we've encountered. Now, mountain snow appears in some of the more remote areas of the world, and it presents a little bit of a challenge to the Sims. As you can see, they're struggling to walk through it. But I think that's the least of our worries on this excursion, as we'll come to see. So I'm going to have my Sims try out a few different methods of climbing here. And Nick, maybe you could tell us what's the difference between those interactions? Why would I select some of those different ones?
So it's a great question, Graham. In terms of interactions, different levels of skill will give the Sims different styles of climbing, different difficulties, and that, of course, will affect their chances of success or failure. So this is a medium-sized wall, so it's pretty challenging. But as you mentioned earlier, we do have smaller and larger walls, which will provide different levels of difficulty. And there's also more than just climbing. We've got an inspect wall conditions interaction. So that'll give the Sims an idea of their chances of success based on their gear, weather, and their skill level. But right now, since we're on an excursion, we're only concerned with getting to the top. But on the other walls, we also have practice interactions, so they'll repeatedly climb up and back down again.
Yeah.
And in terms of climbing styles, there's a cautious approach where they'll more carefully pick their way up the wall, or a courageous approach where they'll take more risks, show off more moves, and that'll gain them more skill.
Cool. And as we have arrived here at the map marker, I'll show you what's different about this social event. We're going to select to move on. and we're actually going to travel to our next location on this event. Now, previously, social events all took place in one spot, but a mountain climb excursion needs a little bit more than that. So here we are, having arrived at Base Camp 1, and conditions up here are looking okay for our climb so far, but we do have a new set of goals to accomplish. I'm going to bring my Sims right over here because whoever climbed the mountain before me has handily left this tent behind, which I'm going to take advantage of. Now, Jessica, we did get a gold medal on our first step of that excursion. So maybe you could tell us, did we get any specific rewards for that, even though we're still on the excursion?
Yeah, your medal performance on each of the excursion sections are going to give you different rewards like sentiments, positive moodlets. Sometimes they'll give you things like plaques, hidden traits. There's a whole set of incentives to doing well on the excursion. And since excursions are longer and somewhat randomized in certain portions, you're going to have to do a lot of preparation to actually get all the way to the top of a gold medal. And if you can do that, there's going to be a lot of payoff.
Very cool. So let's have Dad here catch a little sleep. We just need one sim to rest, but I want to save our energy up because we do have a bit of climbing to go. Unfortunately, no more room in the tent for Kiyoshi, so he's going to have to go nap in the nearby bush. Interestingly enough, I'll just mention we haven't encountered any wildlife so far in our adventure today. I was hoping we might spot some of those hornets or denkimushi on the hiking trail. There's also some chances to run into forest spirits or kadama on the mountainside. And we haven't seen any yet, but keep an eye out for them just in case I miss them. All right, it looks like we got enough rest to satisfy our goal. So let me wake everybody back up. And let's see, Nick, you mentioned inspecting climbing conditions. So I'm definitely going to want to do that before I tackle this next wall. It looks like a little bit of snow has started to fall. So I want to make sure conditions are still okay for me able to... Oh, bats. We did get a little wildlife. There they are. Unfortunately, I did not bring any bat bane with me today, so looks like we got attacked and injured. Oh boy, he is in a little bit of bad shape here. Now, traditionally, this might have been the end of our excursion normally, because if I click on the wall, oh, it's going to let us keep going. All right. I was scared that we got too injured to continue, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to climb cautiously with him, just so that he is not in too dangerous shape. We'll have Mom come inspect those climbing conditions like I mentioned. And let's have Kiyoshi, he's going to climb courageously. And I'm going to keep an eye out on poor Dad over here, because he might be in for a rough time.
I am legitimately concerned for his life.
It's a little worrisome. I have not had him get this injured so far in any of the times where I've gone through this demo. So we still have a ways to go before we reach the mountain peak. I'm hoping he will make it today, but we'll see.
Definitely a lucky escape there, Graham.
Now, Mom says she has a high chance of a successful climb, but I'm not going to take any risks. So let's go ahead and chalk her hands. There we go. And let's get her up to the top. She's feeling pretty good at this point. Now, Jessica, we're going to head to Base Camp 2 in a moment, and we'll get a look at what that is like. But another thing that's really cool about these excursions is that they can change a bit from trip to trip. So we just saw one example where I got attacked by bats, and that's actually never happened to me on the excursion before. But it's one of those random variables. What are some other things that might throw you off, or some nice things that you might discover as you go?
Yeah, one of the major core pillars of Excursions as a design was to make it very replayable. So there's going to be a lot of random things. You won't always have that tent there to help you out. When you're exploring caves, you might find treasure. You might find some other things that are unexpected in caves. This is something we really want you to just keep on trying to get through. And in order to get all the way to top of gold, you're going to have to try it a few times and be ready for every possible outcome. You're going to have to endure intense weather, wildlife, possibly a fall or two. You might sleep in a cave. You might encounter mountain spirits, maybe some errant gnomes. And you might find hidden treasure like simoleons or an ultra rare gachapon, perhaps.
Ooh. Now, we have arrived in our next location. It's the Croft Icefall. Imagine that. And it looks like weather conditions are starting to deteriorate. I don't know. Oh, it is. It's a thunder snowstorm. So we better watch out because this can get dangerous quickly. If our Sims were to be struck by lightning, that would be. Oh, I hear it. Watch out. It's coming. This might signal another quick end to our excursion. So I'm going to have Dad put down a little shelter. He's a little worried about Kiyoshi here. We'll have Kiyoshi get inside the... Ooh, there it is. I saw a flash of lightning. I'm worried now. Oh, we might have some icy conditions taking place too. Well, so much is happening all at once. I got to catch up and talk about it all. But first, let me have Dad get some blackberries. He is looking quite hungry. So he's going to scavenge up here on the mountainside. And Mom, maybe she can start a fire for us to keep us a little bit warm in these bleak conditions. So we'll have him eat, and while he chows down on these blackberries, I mentioned some of those weather conditions. So whether it's a blizzard or a full-on thunder snow storm, there's a lot to watch out for, and those bad conditions can actually, again, affect our chances of reaching the mountain peak. So it looks like we might be suffering from two things here, because if we experience icy conditions, Sims can slip and fall. It's easier for them to lose their grip when climbing. So you really have to watch out. And not only are you going to encounter those up here on the mountainside, but you might see them down in the Yukimatsu neighborhood as well. Now, I'm going to follow along with Dad. If we remember, he is badly scratched and buffeted. He is not feeling great. This is probably the most dangerous moment of the excursion for him. So let's see how he does. And I'm going to cross my fingers that he succeeds. I'm guessing there's a number of people in chat who are hoping otherwise.
The shot is really kicking in, Graham.
Well, let's see what happens. He's almost there. Oh, come on, Dad. You can do it. Look at him looking down. He's worried. Don't slip. Don't slip. Oh, our weather conditions have actually cleared up, so he might be making it. Oh, lucky, lucky, lucky. So I will point out, that was, again, a very dangerous moment. Poor Naoki here, he could have slipped and actually fallen to his death, a brand new type of death that occurs in Snowy Escape. So watch out for that one as well. Now, let me bring my Sims over here. I'm spotting an ice cave in the distance, which might provide some brief temporary shelter for us. And let's go ahead and get Kiyoshi out of the tent as well. With the storm past, I'm going to get him up the mountain, joining the rest of us. All right, so as my Sims... Oh, look at this. We encountered a little more wildlife, some forest spirits. Where are they? I might have just missed them. While I was looking at Dad, they might have popped out and already hid away. The forest spirits are actually quite cool. I'm glad they at least popped up in our game. Because they are a new type of collectible as well. They don't go into your household collections, but if you're able to snag one of them in time, you can actually grab them and get a kind of spirit doll version of them that you can bring back home and hang on your walls. Now, let's see, it is still freezing here on the mountainside, which is to be expected. But I think I know a way that Mom and Dad can warm up. Why don't we have them woohoo together in the ice cave? Uh, and it looks like Dad just got a sentiment from this, and sure, I can recognize that as a memorable moment. So they're going to have some fun. This is one of the new woohoos in The Sims 4 Snowy Escape. So while they're having a little fun, let's see if, yes, Kiyoshi did make it up. So hopefully we'll spare him the embarrassment of his parents coming out of the cave. But we do need to get to our map marker in the distance here so that we can reach the peak. So we'll brave it for him. Now, Jessica, of course, we woohooed in the ice cave today, but that's not the only thing you can do in the ice cave, certainly. What are the other benefits that it can provide to some of our Sims?
There's quite a lot of hidden rewards in Ice Cave since you can explore it and go down different paths. I don't want to spoil any of them, but you might find a bag of money. You might find a hidden hermit in there that will teach you a few things. There's a lot of outcomes from the Ice Cave. Besides the awkward woohoo.
Well, awkward or not, our Sims are feeling fantastic about it. We can see in their sentiments. They are enchanted from a moment in the mountains. So they are building some deep connections and really enjoying this excursion so far, which is good because I was worried for a minute there. Things were not trending well. So let's get the entire family over to the map marker and head on up to the peak of Mount Komorebi. I was hoping to catch the sunrise on this one. It looks like we're a little late for that, but I'm sure it will still be an absolutely breathtaking view. All right, so we have arrived here in our mountain peak. We're all feeling quite celebratory about making it. So let's pull out and send them all the way up to the top and just scan around and get a look. So we're actually so high up in the mountains here that we have poked through the top of the cloud layer. We can see a few other nearby mountains that are just peeking out the top of the clouds. But Mount Komorebi is the biggest and grandest of them all, so it's quite an accomplishment to make it all the way to the summit. And one of my favorite parts of that is that we do reward you with something kind of fun and unique. I can actually pop right into build mode here, and you can see there is a lot here at the very top of the mountain that you can go and build on and customize however you like. Now, this map or this lot is not accessible from the map, so anytime you'd want to return here, you do need to climb through that experience and that adventure again. But it's always fun to have something waiting for you at the top, and you can customize your experience that way. So all in all, I would say that we have had a pretty thrilling adventure today. We've gone through each of our gorgeous neighborhoods. We've done some beautiful activities, whether it was our relaxing hike or hitting the slopes for some mountain fun, or climbing all the way to the top of the summit and having a little bit of danger along the way. So all in all, a good vacation. I think we will end it right there and head back home. We are going to go into a question and answer portion of the live stream. But as Andy, or Sim Guru Frost, excuse me, starts to get some messages together for us and some questions, I'm going to show a little more in-depth building with platforms because they are super cool. We saw some limited examples of them earlier, but let's just go in and just show all the wild stuff that you can do with them. So, sorry, Kayla, I'm gonna start modifying your lot a little bit here. And let's put down a platform or two and just show what we can do. So I'm going to go here into the room tool. And you might say, wait, Graham, that's a room. That's not a platform. That's where you're wrong, because any room can be a platform. If I just go and I click on my room here, I have these new up arrows. And I have some down arrows. Let's say I want to sink my platform down into the floor. Because really, at the end of the day, a platform is not a unique thing into itself. When we talk about platforms, we're just talking about adjusting the height of the floor on any location. But I can go in and grab the specific platform tool, and I could start dragging those out. So let me make a pretty big one here. But why don't I just add another one on top of it? And then another one on top of that. And another one on top of that. Now you can just continue to go crazy with this and stack platforms and more platforms. Something I really like about it, though, is, again, these are super unique in what you can do. So I could take stairs, for example, and I could attach them to that platform. And then if I, say, built yet another platform up here, and let's go ahead and bring that one up. Let's add even more stairs to it. So you can start to see the versatility of what these things can do. And remember, they're all still on the same level here. Now, if I want to go in and customize the look of my platforms, we do have a new section of platform trims. So we have all of our kind of outdoor foundations that you could apply to these however you want. And we also have some new ones as well. So if you want a tile look for a bathroom, if you want a interior stone look, if you want some different wood panels. And again, look at all the colors to choose from. Definitely plenty to select from to customize however you want. But one of the other things that I really love that we added is we've gone in and done some new half walls. Now, previously, half walls only came in very particular sizes, but now we have every single size in the catalog. So if I want these, I can add them at any height that I want. And I think we skipped up 3 levels there. So let's try this one. I might have been a little off. That's okay. I'll just go back and grab the next level up. There we go. So if I actually want to customize my platforms with wall materials, now I can go in and just put whatever I want on these things. So if we want a nice stone wall, if we want a brick wall, you can see they're fully customizable. And then let's do one more just kind of like freezy thing with our platforms. We'll drag out one there and another one there. And let's just show how deep these things can go. Are we at the bottom? There we go. And let's do the opposite on this one. Let's go as high as we can. There you go. So you can just see the versatility of platforms. These are going to unlock so many creative possibilities. I just can't wait to see what people do with them. So all that said, Andy, or Frost, I might have cut you off a minute ago. What are some of the burning questions that the community has for us?
Oh my gosh, we have so many questions.
That's what I like to hear.
I think one of the questions came in that was, can stairs go through foundations?
Can
Sorry,
stairs?
not foundations, but the platforms.
Yeah, Azure, do you want to take that one for us?
You can build all kinds of configurations with platforms. If you wanted to build a platform that looked like stairs were going through it, what I would recommend is actually building 2 platforms, maybe even 3, and merging them together so they look like one, and then you could have a space for the stairs to actually go up within them. And I think it's also important to say that when traversing platforms, if your platform is 1 stair height, Sims will be able to traverse that just fine. But if you make a platform that's taller or shorter than 1 stair height, you're definitely going to need some stairs or a ladder to connect so your Sims could actually route onto that platform.
So I've built a little example of it while we were chatting. So we have our 2 different height platforms on a 2nd floor here, and we have staircases going up from the same height floor on the 1st floor. And you can see, yeah, you can build and traverse these things however you want. Of course, if you are using a ladder from Eco Lifestyle, or the ladders that were at the base game, those can go through the platforms as well.
Some of these questions are going to be all over, but great question is, are sentiments permanent?
Morgan, why don't you jump in and take that one?
No, they are not permanent. We have long-term and short-term sentiments, and when you hover over them, you can actually see which ones are which. And sometimes sentiments can either like decay or strengthen into one or the other. So like what might start as like a little thing becomes like a bigger thing to your Sims, and it'll become more long-term. But and they are sorted by preference, and you can have 4 sentiments at a time. So if you have kind of like a weak short-term sentiment and something big happens, that's going to take preference, and they're relating to other Sims. So it's kind of like you feel the way you do about other Sims based on the most powerful sort of moments you've had together in the past. Maybe one time having kind of a nice hiking trip isn't going to matter to you so much if you catch your spouse cheating on you. You're going to like not just be like, oh, I love that time we hiked. They're going to be like, oh, I can't stand being around them right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just want to point out a little bit of that we saw. So if I open the Sim profile here with Shigeru, remember we have this festering grudge, which is a bitter sentiment with him. In the background of the sentiment is almost empty, which, you mentioned how sentiments aren't permanent. This is one of the ways that you can tell how much kind of time is left in it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that one they'll probably be getting rid of soon because it's pretty low. So that one will probably be disappearing.
And if I compare that with the sentiments that we received with Megumi here during our demo today, you can see these ones are still going to last quite a bit of time. Some of these, I imagine, are some of those long-term sentiments. And I didn't catch if you said it a second ago, but just to give people a sense of really how extended these are and how it kind of plays out over the course of multiple days or even weeks. How long can those sentiments ultimately last?
I believe some of them last weeks, unless you're doing things to kind of like make them go away quicker, or unless they're being like you're acquiring a lot of more sentiments, in which case, if you're acquiring sentiments all the time, they can replace the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So it really does vary from sentiment to sentiment and sim to sim.
All right. Frost, what do you have next for us?
Same sort of question, but about lifestyles. So are lifestyles permanent? Can they change, etc.?
Well, I'm going to throw it right back to Morgan for that one again.
Yeah, they definitely change, and that's one of the really fun things we wanted about lifestyles. They are a representation of the way your Sims are living currently. So a Sim that spends all their time outdoors will develop over time an outdoorsy lifestyle, but if they suddenly stop and instead like you're focusing playing them indoors, after time that may fade. And like another good example would be a single and loving it Sim who's been living the single life, but all of a sudden they have a significant other and they're all about them. They might stop living the single and loving it. And maybe they'll become hungry for love even. They might even go so far as to have a complete reversal in their life. Another thing to mention as far as losing lifestyles is we have some special ways you can lose them. That includes using the reward store. You can see the button there at the bottom left side where we have a potion to remove it. Or if you're looking for more of like an in-game role play style, you can go to a coaching lifestyle person on the phone, and you can go to lifestyle coaching where they will let you pick which one you want to remove and kind of like work on to change yourself. And then for people that are more interested in kind of like setting up households, you can also shift click on Sims and choose to add or remove lifestyles through like a cheat we've given you guys.
Morgan, is there any way to set or preset sentiments and lifestyles for NPC Sims?
Yeah, that would be with that same cheat where you can shift click on them and do add or remove lifestyle. That'll be the easiest way to preset them for households.
And one more thing I think you didn't mention, unless I missed it, Morgan, is the new game option related to that as well.
Oh yeah, that's good. So we added a thing here in the game options menu where you can go and turn on and off lifestyles. So if it's a feature you aren't really like wanting to play with, you can turn it off. Turning it off will remove all lifestyles from the game. So choose if you want that or not. But if you don't want to play with them, you can turn off the system altogether.
Very cool. Lots of good options for however you would like to play with it. Frost, throw another one our way.
Oh my gosh, I have so many questions. Platforms in apartments, is that a thing?
Azure, hit us with that expert opinion.
You can build platforms in apartments.
There we go. Simple and clean.
I'm clapping. This is a good question. Can you exit and then resume an excursion, or do you have to do it all in one take?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe Jessica could tell us a little bit more about that.
You should be able to close your game and come back just fine, just like any other social event.
Make sure you don't just close. Make sure you save first.
Yes, that's the important part. You might say we put a lot into excursions. Get it? A lot into excursions.
I do get it. That's clever. It's subtle though.
I've seen this a couple times. Hot pots in restaurants. When they do that.
That's an interesting one. Let's see, Sarah, you might know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, currently kotatsus can't be used in restaurants right now, but we're looking into it hopefully later on.
I think specifically it was about hot pots, Sarah. Can hot pot meals be in restaurants?
That one, it should be able to be used.
Okay.
I don't think it's part of the actual recipe system, but
so how would a player go about having a hot pot meal in a restaurant then?
I think they would. I'm trying to remember having the hot pot a little bit. Yeah, I think they would bring it with them. I am honestly, I need to go check.
So maybe double check on that. I'm chatting with Sarah, but her Sim Guru name is Sim Guru Popcorn. Maybe she could just elaborate on her Twitter a little bit later. But if it's not part of the traditional menu system, it might fall outside of that rule set a little bit in terms of how restaurants function. But you can always double check on that and let the community know.
We did add some other recipes to restaurants though with this, so there are some new stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, Morgan, I remember having a number of conversations with you about that. What was some of the special stuff that came together for that?
A lot of the vending machine items I know we did. So like the special pops, we have some cool, like more unique, not really Americanized pops you'd find, like lychee soda. And those are in there. And I think maybe there's also the health food nut lifestyle. And if you have that, you can cook some healthy recipes. So we have the healthy recipes in restaurants in case you wanted to have like a healthy restaurant. Those are the ones that I know about for sure that are in there.
Now, Morgan, I have to say I was very excited when I saw Terry Mayo hot dogs in the vending machines. Please tell me I can order one of those in a restaurant.
I believe that's in there.
Okay. That's what I like to hear.
Maybe it's not actually. I'm not sure. Actually, don't count on that. I'm not sure.
Okay, we're gonna have to double check again.
We made the food a little different for vending machines because they're all handheld foods. Because you didn't really want like a plate when you took it out of the vending machine because that's a little silly. So it might have been like a lot of extra work to support all of the new recipes for restaurants since like they do behave differently because we wanted them to be very vending machine-y.
Yeah, that's right. Might be a little weird to get some food without plates on it at a restaurant.
Yeah, but I know the pops definitely, and there are a few others I think that are in there. But definitely the healthy food ones are in there. So we do have new ones, but cool. I don't know if we have all the weird handheld foods.
All right. Let's see. Yep, go ahead, Frost.
Back to Simger's popcorn. Can we use kotatsus in restaurants?
I think I answered that a little bit ago. Not right now. Nope.
Okay. Thank you.
I just
Hey,
noticed the
Graham,
kids'
I
festival is
noticed.
here, so I'm gonna go enjoy the festival while we take some more questions.
Hey, Graham, I noticed that you were zooming in on the lounge earlier. And one
Yes.
thing we haven't talked about yet with platforms is that now you can make stages.
Wait, well, what is that?
Stages. hmm So we have functionality and platforms where your Sims can interact if they're in the same room but on different floor heights. So now you
Oh,
can have your Sims playing the piano on a stage or telling jokes or singing, and they'll be able to interact with Sims that are watching them from the audience.
I can't quite get close enough, but I'm peeking through the window. And yes, I remember we have our piano and microphone set up on a stage inside the lounge for our Sims to enjoy. Uh, James Turner did a great job setting this one up. Cool. So, Frost, do we have another one while we go
Of
try out the
course.
kids' festival?
Of course. This one I think might be going to Simguru Azure. Um, with regards to the new rental lot system that Sims can now make rental lots, can we use that in apartments?
I'm
I don't.
actually not the producer who did rental lots, so I'm not sure if I can answer that question.
Yeah, I think that might be better for Morgan if she happens to know.
I don't actually happen to know that off of my head.
All
Yes,
right.
Sophia, but I'm not sure.
That's
So
another one we're gonna have to follow up on then. Maybe we can jot that down for us, and we can certainly tweet out some answers to some that we don't have the experts on hand for today.
Gotcha. I do think a lot of people want to see Cass.
Okay, we can live in the cast. Let's see. Do I have to go home to do this? I'm just gonna cheat. Sorry, everybody. Close your eyes for a second. Yeah, so if we head into Cass, I know hairstyles are always one of the most popular things to take a look at. So why don't we go and see some of the new ones coming from men in the pack? We have this nice buzzed haircut, shaved head look, a nice wavy hairstyle for the men. And one that's a little bit longer. I like putting this one on my snowboarders. I don't know if it's the right dad look. Let's try it on Kiyoshi. Maybe it'll work better for him. Yeah, that definitely fits him better than it does dad. And if we go over to Megumi here, let's take a look, see how she's doing. Um, we've got this lovely one. I think you've seen it in some of the initial renders that we put out for the pack. It's got the baby hairs on it. Looks really nice with the braids split between the front and the back. This one, nice braided ponytail. Great look. This one's got some great hair clips, and those all kind of update in fun different colors depending on what you've selected. But again, a lovely, just kind of natural looking hair. This one, perfect for formal events. I really like kind of coupling it with the kimonos or yukatas or some of the other traditional Japanese wear in the pack. But that one is quite beautiful. This one, I don't know, maybe like a fun sporty look for a skier or snowboarder. And we'll click through some of the different colors that we have. We also have a number that have ombre colors as well. We'll get down to those in just a moment. This is definitely one of those ones that kind of works with both ombre and regular hair colors. So some good initial choices. And yeah, then we get into these fun ones as well. Let's see, a few more like ombre ones where we get a wider kind of color palette to select from, looking quite lovely. And just as I go here, Frost, maybe you can point out any specific requests we're seeing within Cass just while we're in here today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to see if there's any new traits.
Oh, sure.
Back.
Yeah. Silly me. I went through the whole live stream and I forgot to talk about the new traits. We do have new traits in the pack. We have our adventurous trait here, as well as the proper trait. Um, we can go back into live mode in a minute to see the actual descriptions of these. But Sarah, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the proper trait while I click through a few more of the choices here.
Yeah, the proper trait. The Sims are very respectful. They very much prefer to use our new respectful greeting. I think they don't like witnessing improper behavior. So if they see Sims being mean to someone they like, they are very unhappy. But my favorite thing about them is they have a few more flirting options that are, rather than flirt, they prefer to court. And when they fight, they give them a what for. So those are some funny things to look forward to for that one.
Yeah, for sure. I do love some of the toddler outfits that came in this pack as well. This super adorable outfit. We can go in and see a few more of the things. That parka that we had earlier, maybe some more fun variants of it with the different patterns. Loving it. This adorable fur coat, great for the winter. And then we have some of these more traditional assets as well. So this is a really great one to wear, either, maybe to a festival, the Festival of Light, or the Festival of Youth, very colorful and bright. If you've got seasons installed, I like this one. Bring out some of those fall colors. Even some new sleepwear, so cute little outfits. Yeah, lots of great stuff to choose from, and then we even have some silly stuff like you saw in the trailer. We got the big bunny hat. So yeah, lots of cute stuff in here, and we're not even seeing any of the hidden clothing as well. So there's so many unlockables in this pack. Whether you're going through the salary person career, whether you are leveling up at rock climbing, skiing, or snowboarding, all of those different paths have a lot of different clothing that you unlock within them. This is a really cool outfit. Oh,
that's one. That's my favorite shirt. Just putting that there. But also, you can dress up as Yamachan.
Yes, you can. Let me click over to our full bodies in just a second. I'll just point out some of the things that we unlocked as we went today. So normally you would not find this outfit in cast in the beginning, but we purchased it at the Festival of Snow, so it's here. Also, this shirt, you're not going to see this in cast from the beginning, but we climbed to the very summit of the mountain. So we've unlocked a little shirt showing that accomplishment for us. And if we want Dad to dress up as Yamachan.
Speaking of unlocks, Graham, you can unlock some snow gear as well as part of your cast unlocks.
Yeah, totally. I think I mentioned a little bit with both skiing and snowboarding, right? Unless you were talking about a different one.
No, that's it. Sorry.
Okay. All good. And we could, let's see. I love Lady Yamachan. Maybe we'll have to come up with a different name for the other color Yamachans, Sarah. Let's see. I do like,
Challenge accepted.
a lot of the traditional wear as well. So we do have the kimono. Again, lots of fun different patterns and variants available for these. Great for wearing to festivals. One with a little shawl over the top, keep you a little bit warmer. We have the school outfits, of course, and those come in a bunch of colors. And again, these are things that teenagers and children in the world will automatically wear when they are going to school, which is pretty cool.
Something I thought that was really fun that Cheyenne told me was whenever you're wearing the kimono with socks, the new sandals have built in like the toes like tabby. So it looks like there's shading on the socks that'll make it look like they have the toe sock.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
I thought that was really cool.
Let's see. Was I forgetting some follow-up to a question, Frost, or were we open for another one?
let's move on to the next one, and this is a pretty big question that we've seen since sort of the reveal trailer, but I'm going to break it up into sort of two questions. The first question being, if I have The Sims 4 Seasons, what should I expect in terms of weather?
That's a great question. I was just asking Azure a little bit about that yesterday to make sure I had my facts straight. Oh, look, Proper Sims bowing. um, Sorry, I got off track when I saw them there for a second. Yeah, maybe Azure, you could help clarify a little bit of that for us. What's the difference with seasons or without?
Absolutely. The difference is that so you do not need seasons to experience everything wonderful about Mount Komorebi. Players who do not have seasons, they'll still have snow, they'll still have thunder snow and icy conditions up in the Yukimatsu neighborhood. The biggest difference that they will see is that when they are in Wakaba and Simbamachi, they will see the game as they've always seen it, kind of with that beautiful sunny weather. If they had seasons, they would see seasons in every neighborhood.
All right, there we go.
But without seasons, you only see the snowy weather up on Yukimatsu.
Okay. And so if I only have The Sims 4, just to clarify, if I only have The Sims 4 Snowy Escape, what new weather will I see in this world?
You will see thunder snow, which is, we saw a little bit of it earlier in the demo. It's this crazy phenomena that happens where there is snow and there is thunder and there is lightning, and it can be pretty dangerous for your Sims. You will also have icy conditions, which is something that shows up after it has been snowing up in Yukimatsu. And then it can get icy, and that can be a little dangerous for your Sims as well. But those are the only weather types that you will see outside of, the beautiful base game sunny weather if you do not have seasons.
Awesome, thank you. Graham, I think some of the children were playing something on their phone. Do you mind telling us more?
Yes, I am in the middle of doing the Void Critter hunt. I apologize. I was half listening to Azure's answer because I was engrossed in trying to find all these little virtual Void Critters. Sarah is actually the one who worked the closest on that. Sarah, I think I've acquired 3 so far. What's my ultimate goal here?
Yeah, you got to catch 10 to be the very best. Like, no one ever was. But yeah, so once you get 10, you go talk to Yama-chan. Keep an eye out for him in the background because his dance is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
There it
Also,
is.
get a selfie with him and toddlers because it's also painfully cute.
Yeah, let's bring, where is Yuta? Oh, he's all the way back home. I'm going to cheer him up a little bit, and I'm going to cheat him over there. Let's see. I think our festival might be ending fairly soon, so didn't want to wait for him to run all the way over. Let's see, Frost, do we have another question?
Look at it. It's so cute.
Maybe we could talk about the onsen, because there's some special rules involved with that.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about it a little bit during the demo. Was there anything specific you wanted to know about it?
If I don't want an onsen in my world, can they change it?
Well, let me throw it over to PJ. So we do have the beautiful pre-built onsen bathhouse in Yukimatsu. And you can go in and customize and rebuild that onsen however you'd like. But you're not limited to that specific onsen. So I'm actually going to show maybe one alternative option you have from our build catalog. But PJ, maybe you can just tell everybody a little bit more about the onsen and what you can do with them outside of that specific location.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can build an onsen in any neighborhood, and the hero object of that venue is the hot springs. And I have to say, the one that was pre-built in our world, done by Deligracy, which is freaking beautiful. I just, I never got to personally thank her. I thanked her on Twitter, but it looked great. But I think you already demoed a little bit of like wanting to, having to shower before you get in. If you don't shower, players will, or other Sims will look at you kind of with a side eye. But also, you'll get the actual hot springs dirtier faster. Other things will do that too, like the woohoo interaction you're showing right there. But yeah, it's basically a place for the Sims to relax, especially the one on the snowy mountain, a place to sort of, after a fun day of skiing and snowboarding, just to relax and wind down a bit.
Yeah, and the thing I'm hovering over here is just to show. Normally, I could bypass the rules and just get straight into the hot springs if I wanted. The reason I wasn't able to with this particular sim was if I go into his traits, he's a proper trait. So, of course, he wants to follow the rules inside the onsen. Uh, but I am showing this kind of home example because not only do we have the natural hot springs that we saw earlier at the venue, but we have this kind of man-made version as well. And you have access to both of those in the catalog. You can play and customize with them however you like. But one other thing I absolutely have to show off today is one of my other favorite patterns in the game. Let's go with this one. Oh, it's so cute. So as peaceful and tranquil as the mountain one is, what can I say? I'm a cat guy. I love cats. This is my ideal zen right here.
SimGuru Popcorn actually made a few pre-made rooms that I think uses these tiles, and they look really nice.
Yeah, this is one of the pre-mades I grabbed. If she has one with the cats, I probably just snagged the wrong variant then. Frost, do we have another question?
So with the update to adding rental lots to any world, does this mean that we can live in vacation worlds?
I'll take that one. No. So now that you can vacation in any world, you would go and you take the new rental lot type that's coming in the game update, and you can place those down in any of the existing residential worlds to make them vacation destinations. But that does not flow in the opposite way. You cannot turn a destination world into a residential world. So, not at this time.
I think that lots of people were asking about the Simstagram from the reveal trailer, but I believe that's just our creative team with a little movie magic.
Yeah, that was just us kind of showing off that not only is this a great world to live in, but it's a great world to vacation in, and some of that fun dichotomy that you can now have in your game with the new features that were added. But the Simstagram itself has not changed in this pack, no.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying, Graham. Is there any build buy items that are like something that you want to show off specifically?
Yeah, there are some really cool things that I would love to point out, and I'm going to bring Cheyenne back into the conversation for this one, because being the art director on the pack, she had a hand in bringing a lot of these together. So I have some personal favorites, and then maybe we can take a look at a really cool thing that we did on this pack as well. So,
Yeah.
I do love these little poofs. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
I was going to say, you've already showed off the Kotatsu, which is awesome. There's also a lot of new windows and doors, and there are shoji windows and doors, which are new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if I go over to our windows and doors here, you can see you get a full set of, not only ones that are kind of shoji screens. Let's see what Kayla, our little Simsy, has on the side of her home here. So we have some glass windows. We have some of the shoji. Oh, no, that one's still glass. All right, sorry, I'm going to start modifying your house, little Simsy. We'll drop down. The roof's in the way. There we go. So there's kind of the difference with a shoji screen. And it's actually cool because light passes through the shoji screens. So if you set those up in a really beautiful location where the light hits them, you'll get some really gorgeous effects coming into your home.
Also, the new counters that you can put things in.
Yeah, let me grab those new counters because that's a little bit different and very cool. So we have both the island piece and the counter piece. And if I were to go and grab some decor, oops, I gotta find one that's small enough and on the fly. Let's see. I think these little pictures will fit. There we go. So you can put pictures down here inside them. There's a variety of things that'll fit down here. We have these new plates in the pack, so you can stack those up in the kitchen. We've got little tea canisters. But these are really cool. They make a kitchen feel a little more lived in. I love that style. These Daruma dolls are pretty neat. If you don't know about what these are, traditionally they come with one eye closed. And then as you fulfill a task or a goal that you've set out for yourself, you open the other eye on the doll. So those are a neat little cultural thing that you can decorate with in the pack.
I have many unfinished Daruma dolls on my shelf right now.
That's awesome.
Beautiful paintings and wall decor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. So I'm gonna use this wall right here and take it over. Just with some of the different. I love the big chonky cat. Just a lot of cute pictures. Some more traditional ones of our mountain temple. Lots of great stuff. And actually, we've got a little Simlish here, and this is one of the other things that I wanted to show. So let me grab a few other similar objects that have some Simlish on them. I'm actually going to go ahead and drag out a wall here so we can place some signs. And let's go back. There's one object I love to show this off with in particular. It's our ski trail sign. So I'm just looking for it here. Let's put that one out. Let's put this one out. I'm just grabbing anything that has Simlish on it because this is really cool to see kind of alongside each other. Where is that sign? I'm totally missing it. There it is. So I like grabbing this one in particular because it kind of shows an interesting juxtaposition. So one of the things that we did while working on Snowy Escape, we partnered with this internal group at EA that's called Aspire. And that stands for Asian and Pacific Islanders Represent. It's something that's called an employee resource group. But we've worked with them previously. So when we worked on Island Living, for example, we got some information and collaborated with them on how to bring some of their culture into the game appropriately. And we did a similar thing on this pack, obviously with it being inspired by Japan. But as part of that, we did this really cool collaboration where, of course, we have Simlish, and you're all familiar with Simlish. And it takes various written forms, but you're not supposed to be able to read it. But Simlish has kind of a unique stylistic language to it. But Cheyenne worked really closely with the Aspire group to create a new version of Simlish that draws inspiration from kanji, hiragana, katakana. And again, you can't read any of these things, but it's very evocative of it. And it was fun working with them because you would show it to them and they'd be like, I feel like I can almost read this, but I can't. And it's very symbolic of some of those written languages. I don't know, Cheyenne, any interesting anecdotes from that experience? I thought it was cool, but maybe from an art perspective and, trying to get our concept artists on board with that stylistic direction.
Yeah, it was another case of taking in a lot of reference and then working with the Aspire group to make sure we're headed in the right direction. And I think it's really great that when you walk around the area, it feels like you're somewhat totally different than the other places we have in the game.
Yeah, totally.
Graham, I think we're almost close to time.
Okay.
So I do want to say real quick that in about 10 minutes, we have game changers who have captured content from this pack, and they'll be able to share it in literally 10 minutes. So if you don't have your question answered now, I'm sure it'll be answered by all the content that will go live soon. So is there any last thing you want to say or show us, Graham?
Oh boy. I don't know. I mean, I'll just give a kind of like high level overview because I'm so excited about this pack. Whether it's the absolutely gorgeous world, and I'll sit here and I'll tell you all day, this is the most beautiful world that we've built yet. Especially since we had talented people like James Turner, Deligracy, Lil Simsy, Simlessy collaborate with us on it to build these great locations. You've got to come check that out. And then it's, the whole thrill and the chill of it all the great stuff that you can do on the mountain, the excursion, the snowboarding, the skiing, uh, kind of winding down from that with relaxing hikes, going to the onsen, soaking in the hot springs, enjoying all these new foods, participating in some of that culture through the 3 unique festivals. There's a lot to do in this. And, even once you get through Mount Komorebi, once you've gone on your vacation and you've experienced the activities, you get to take all those 16 lifestyles back home with you. You get to experience all the sentiments that enrich everything beyond what you experience in just this pack. I don't know. I think there's a lot to love about this one. I'm so excited for it. It's right up my alley thematically. It's the relaxing thing that I need right now. So I don't know. I'm going to have fun with this one. I certainly hope the community does as well. And if we are just kind of winding down, I will mention again, it's Snowy Escape. It is the newest expansion pack for Sims, and it's a simultaneous release on PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One this November 13th. So, yeah, if you loved what you saw today, check out some of those videos from your favorite game changers, and we'll see you November 13th.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Cool. Thank you so much. See you all next time.